Canadian talent, drummer and musician Chris Gormley was part of Canadian rock groups Big Sugar and the Trews for a better part of a decade, but has now decided to step away from the limelight to become a full-time dad. And in that time, he's done his own uplifting music and has also become a whiskey connoisseur with his very own brand of Canadian bourbon.
All right, so welcome to CP24 Breakfast. Chris Gormley, nice to meet you this morning. You got your uke in tow. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's talk about this bourbon journey, because you've got this Whisky Hunter kind of brand that you've been cultivating, kind of helping people, experience or work their way through different whiskeys here. Yep. How did this all come about? Is this just a hobby that you tried to convince your wife, hey, if I do this, it's legit?
it was a COVID hobby,
yeah.
to be honest. The band at the time wasn't touring, so we were grounded, yeah. And I started reviewing whiskeys online just for fun, because I've been a whiskey fan for decades.
Yep.
And distilleries from across the country started sending me bottles. I was reviewing them. And at that time, one particular distillery out in BC, we had a great bond. He's a twin, and I just had newborn twins.
Okay.
And he liked my music, I liked his whiskey. We were kind of collaborating back and forth. And one day, I was actually in the Okanagan on tour, and he called me and said, we should do something cool together. Let's release a whiskey inspired by music, and like the pairing of creating a song with creating whiskey. And there came Nectar of the Gods. That sold out immediately.
Wow.
And then we just released our second batch.
And this is before everyone wanted to start drinking Canadian and forgetting about the bourbon.
We released it in March, and right at the time we released it, the tariffs and the trade war were kind of escalating, and you couldn't, bourbon drinkers couldn't get their favorite American whiskeys on shelves. So our whiskey is like a bourbon-style Canadian whiskey, and it tastes like bourbon, but it's made 100% in Canada, and people are freaking out.
Excellent.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that. Well deserved, Chris. Since we can't crack this open right now and each take a shot, I'd love to share a whiskey with you right now. So what will people appreciate about your whiskey compared to, let's say, a Kentucky bourbon or something else?
It's going to be made and taste very similar to like a Kentucky bourbon.
Right.
It's going to have 100% Canadian ingredients, made by 100% Canadian people, awesome people in the BC. Tyler's the head of the distillery there. His whole family, they run the distillery. And it's just a great alternative to if you I love bourbon, I have to drink bourbon, try this, a Canadian version of bourbon, and it's like it's a magical whiskey.
What do you make?
Flying off the shelves.
That's great to hear, and I'm curious. It's flying off the shelves. I'm sure because of its quality, but also because of the Canadian pride. And this moment we're in, like the elbows up, kind of people looking for Canadian, buy Canadian. You've been a part of some great Canadian music bands. You're now part of this Canadian whiskey. What's this moment like for you, just as a Canadian, when you look at what we're all doing here in response to quote unquote Liberation Day today from Donald Trump?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult time for a lot of people, a lot of business sectors. But I think this is kind of illuminating the silver lining in this whole thing is people are starting to realize Canadians do amazing things. Yes. We make amazing whiskey. Like this distillery, they just won 11 golds at the World Spirits Awards. They don't make just good Canadian whiskey, they make like some of the best whiskey in the world. Yeah. And if it takes a trade war and tariffs to have people kind of go, oh, we make our own really good bourbon or whiskey or whatever, then that's kind of like the positive I'm taking from this.
Yeah, and we're looking at one of your hit songs. You've really incorporated, whiskey into your music, and I understand you're going to play us a bit of music today.
Right.
So what's that journey been like? And I understand you also do YouTube videos.
I do YouTube videos, I do reviews. The whiskey songwriting journey is like, it's really simple. I sip on some whiskey, sometimes I smoke a cigar, and literally
how many shots?
The songs write themselves. I mean, I'm a true fan. I wouldn't say connoisseur. I'm more of a fan of whiskey. I've been drinking it for a long time. And when I sit down with friends or by myself and I'm sipping on things that I love, the music just flows. And
I have a question. So when I was in Asia, a very common thing would be to mix whiskey with green tea. Have you ever mixed whiskey with any?
I'm going to do that as soon as I get home.
Okay,
No,
you got to try it. Let me know what you think.
So we got about 45 seconds, Chris. Let's hear some music, because we can't have a guy sit here with a ukulele around his neck and not hear saying, what are we going to hear?
This is the song that I wrote for this release, Nectar of the Gods. It's called Nectar of the Gods.
Let's hear it.
I'll try to get through it.
Take it away.
Truth be told, I'm not that bold. The freedom comes from liquid gold, a steady stream, a constant dream. Swallow me up in your mystery. I'm free to run, I'm free to hide, I'm free to sing a lullaby about a love I truly can't deny. Oh yeah, I dip my toes to see the depths of what is ailing me. Oh yeah, if I I can breathe, I know the nectar of the gods will set me free. Hula hula hoom, hula hula hoom, hula hoom, the nectar of the gods will set me free.
Right on. Okay, well, we'll raise a glass to that. Chris Gormley, pleasure meeting you
Nice
this
to meet you
morning.
both.
Awesome
Good luck
stuff.
with this. This is
Thank
great, and
you
good luck
so
with the
much.
whiskey as well. It's nice to see this Canadian pride on display, so thank you so much.